have a question about that. I think Scout might be able to answer this best, but like, because we're both on the track team, how does that work time-wise? Because like you're spending like a whole weekend somewhere else, and I think
Yeah.
meets are on Saturdays, right?
Yeah, so meets are on Saturdays. We're lucky in that track is a bit more chill about competitions because there's a lot of there's a lot of meets in track. So generally, if you have to miss one, the coaches won't be upset or anything. So that's usually what I end up doing. I tell my coach a couple weeks in advance, I can't make this meet. I've got a competition, and they're very understanding about it. I don't know if any of you guys do sports, I don't know if that is also the case, but if your sport is a bit more chill, like track and field is, you absolutely can do a sport and mock trial. You just kind of have to talk to your coach and like figure out what your coach wants from you, and like that is like a different dynamic. But if you just do a spring sport or just a fall sport, you're more likely to, there's less likely to be conflicts. So
Sean, do you want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, I play baseball at Swarthmore. Like coaches are pretty accommodating, but that like balancing like practice and then coming to mock trial is just something to be aware of. But it's definitely doable. Yeah.
Should we go to the next question? Yeah, okay. So how are we going to practice this fall?
I can take that one. So Scout briefly talked about this, but the plan is to have one large team meeting that's going to be around 1 hour, where our coach, Tanner, who is the assistant district attorney in Delaware County, he's going to be helping us work on those skills that we need for mock trials. So, you know, some of the skills mentioned earlier, public speaking, acting for, you know, if you want that kind of a role, thinking on your feet. He's very, very good at that one in particular, which I think is hard to teach. He's very good at putting us in situations and like, just try your best and I'm going to help you along. And then so that more people can make it, we're going to split into 2 teams, a defense and a plaintiff. That way, I think if you're only meeting with, you know, 5 or 6 people, it'll be easier to find a common time. And then you're going to meet with those groups, you know, probably around once a week. And then there's going to be other more flexible options. Like our coach has said to us, he wants to work one-on-one with people if they want to. You know, if you're saying, I need more help with public speaking, he wants to meet with you, you just shoot him an email and you can come up with a time. And then sometimes you'll be working one-on-one with, let's say I'm an attorney and I have a witness that I'm doing a direct examination with. I might say, hey, can we meet at this time? So in other words, we're trying to do as much as possible to keep it flexible. And yeah, that's the meeting plan as of now. Anyone have any questions on that?
So next question. Okay, do you have any team/social events? I think I can talk a bit about that unless other people want to. Okay, so I'm kind of in charge of those, and so sometimes we have movie nights, and we're also going to have game nights. Hopefully we can play like Cards Against Humanity and stuff like that. But I'm really happy to get anyone's input. Like if there's something specific you want to do, a specific game you want to play, let me know. I'll do my best to make it happen. But yeah, I mean, like we are a team and we do want to, you know, compete with mock trial and learn a bunch of stuff and improve our skills. But we're also just really good friends. And yeah, we like to hang out. But yeah, any other comments or questions about that? No? Okay. So the next question is, do you have to be pre-law?
no, I am pre-med. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I was
just have to
actually
be interested in. Oh, go
sorry.
ahead.
Could we do a quick poll? Who is pre-law? Just out of curiosity.
Sully is also pre-law, but he's gone.
Yeah.
Surprisingly pretty low.
He's an engineering major. He's pre-law, but like he's an engine boy. So we have people from all around. You absolutely don't have to be pre-law.
Yeah.
There's also a bunch of other people on the team that are pre-law too. Like,
if you are pre-law, we do have pretty good connections. I will say that. Tanner, our coach, amazing connection. He knows a lot of lawyers in the Philly area, in the area directly around Swarthmore. He hooked a couple of us up with an internship this summer. He's a really nice guy. He likes to mentor people. We definitely lucked out with him. 100% lucked out with him.
Yeah. For sure. I totally forgot what the question was. Oh, are people pre-law? Yeah, okay. Unless there's anything else about that, what is the case this year?
I will share a little sneak peek of that. Okay, so we posted on our Instagram about this. Oh, Scout, you have to let me share the screen.
oh, oops. It's
So-
very like Agatha Christie vibes, I have to say.
So, quick promo for our Instagram. If you want to go follow us, Garnet Mock Trial, pretty great. So why don't we have someone read this? Anybody feel like reading this? Oops. No takers?
Alrighty, okay. Casey Soto and their fiance, Drew Matsuka. I have no idea how to say that. We're scheduled to have their wedding on June 8th, 2019 at the Peony Estates, a winery and bed and breakfast owned by Harper Martini. Genesis Petrillo, Casey's best friend, was in the wedding party.
Wait, this is wrong, right?
Yeah, no. Genesis Petrillo, Casey's fiance.
This was a typo. AMTA made a typo. I meant to like yell about it in the chat. Sorry,
Okay,
it's supposed to be
Genesis is the fiance.
Yeah.
So Genesis and Casey are supposed to be getting married. I'm sure they're also best friends, but that's not the point. So the night before the wedding, Harper presented Genesis with a bottle of wine, which Genesis drank. After drinking the wine, Genesis passed away, and an autopsy revealed the presence of pesticides in their system. We don't know who Genesis. Yeah. Genesis's estate sued Harper Martini and Peony Estates for battery and negligence per se.
So what makes it kind of Agatha Christie is that Harper is the mother-in-law. So Harper hates the fiance Genesis and was like, if she weren't on the planet, I'd be happier. I wish she would just disappear. And then lo and behold, she dies. So it's a cool case. It's pretty cool. You can charge them with basically murder, or you can charge them with not taking care of their pesticides, you know? So it's a pretty good case this year.
Also, just for the people who have done mock trial in the past, I don't know how your high schools did it, but mine did it where it's like 3 plaintiff witnesses, 3 defense witnesses. In college, it's actually a lot more fun. You get 10 witnesses total. Some of them are side locked, so some of them can only be called for the plaintiff and some can only be called for the defense. But then there's a few in the middle that can be called by either side. So you have to kind of choose, you have to make a strategy based on who you want in your witness lineup, because you do still only get 3.
And depending on what side you're on, you don't get to pick your 3 right away. So I might pick one, then the other side might be like, I'm going to take this guy. And I might have wanted that guy, but he's gone now. So especially for defense, which picks second, and prosecution often picks witnesses that are already, or plaintiff, that are side locked to them, so only I can choose them. Defense often has to think on their feet. They have to prepare a lot to be like, okay, so I might get this witness and I might not. Or they might charge this thing and I need to prepare this guy, or I might not. So it's basically how college mock trial is a level up from high school. It's a little more nuanced.
Yeah, I actually had a question. I was going to wait till the end, but I thought because it's really relevant now. What are the big differences? So you already named one between high school and college mock trial.
Well, I know that it differs depending on the state. So I know North Carolina mock trial, if anyone's from North Carolina. But in college mock trial, the time you have to like be talking and in a trial is longer. So my high school did it where you use like 20 minutes for direct and like 15 minutes for cross. In college, it's 25 and 25. My statements in high school were 5 minutes and 4 minutes. In college, they are, this year it's like 6 and 8. So you talk a bit longer, everything's like, the case is more confusing, so it makes sense that you have to like, you need more time to explain what's going on. But yeah.
You also just generally, so we're going to be over Zoom, it's a little different, but in the actual tournaments where you're there, they want people to be totally memorized. So when you're up against a high caliber team, and most teams are quite good, if I'm being honest, they know all of the rules in their head. And they may not, in fact, know all the rules. They may just know the ones that they have to deal with. They know all their questions in their head. In general, it's just kind of a higher caliber. Any other questions directly relating to that?
So yeah, on that same topic, I know like in high school mock trial, a really big thing was like theming the case, like throwing like a theme on it. Is that something that's also done in college, or is it more of just like directly, this is what we're dealing with?
Yeah, so themes are still present in AMTA mock trial. The thing is, people in college are able to, they're capable of a little bit more critical thinking. So if the theme doesn't work, you're gonna kind of get points taken off, or you're gonna get like ridiculed on the Facebook group. Like you'll get kind of goofed if your theme doesn't make any sense. It's not like an instant win.
But I'd say there is always a theme. It's kind of, there's a lot of theatrics. The judges really want to show. I guess they're really bored with their normal lawyer lives, so they always want some sort of theatric repetition of a phrase.
Yeah. Also, I saw that someone new came in. I think Annie. You don't have to like turn on your video or anything. I just wanted to say welcome. So if we don't have any more questions about that, then how is mock trial different from debate is the next question.
So we do have a couple debaters on our team. Unfortunately, they're not here, so I will do my best to explain despite not being on debate ever. But from what I understand, mock trial is a lot more collaborative than debate. We do work as a team. Oh, bye, Sean. We do work more as a team. So the plaintiff team is like a group of 6 people, and we all have to be really coordinated about what our story is, because if one witness is off saying one thing and another witness is like contradicting them, it makes us look messy. So even though those 2 witnesses might be like flawlessly executed, if they haven't talked to each other, then we're gonna get points taken off as a team. So we like to, there's a lot more crosstalk, I think, between more people. And while debate has adjudicators that have a deeper understanding of the rules, mock trial has one judge and then a jury of people who don't know anything about the case and are not really familiar with college mock trial rules. So you kind of learn to speak in a way that's like logically sound and completely valid, but a little bit more understandable for a lay person with no experience in that topic. I think it's helped me a lot actually with like other public speaking presentation things, just because like it's a good skill to have, to like know how to talk to people that don't know what you're talking about. But debate can get very like in the weeds and like nitpicky, and I think mock trial is focused more on like a holistic story.
I'd say also it's very important, mock trial emphasizes your rhetorical presentation, and that in itself is a skill to develop, and one which can totally take it to the next level. I think the best teams in mock trial are the ones where not only do people know what they're talking about, they sound so professional, you would think they were actually a lawyer. That's one of the things I love about it. I really love that presentation and persuasion matters. I think that's different from debate, although I only went to like one debate meeting once, but That's my impression.
Also, I like to think we're less scary than debate. Like like the Peaslee debate team is very like intense. I get like intense vibes from them. But that's not. I'm not speaking as a mock trial president. I'm just speaking as like me. That's off the record.
I mean, we are recording, so I don't know how awful this is. But yeah, for sure. Bad vibes. It's all good. Next question. Oh, is mock trial like actual law? Or mock trial law like actual law?
Sully, you want to answer that one? I see you waving your hand.
I think he's got this.
Not really. Like there are, right? So like some like concepts, like we talked about what charges you can pursue. You can pursue battery or you can pursue criminal negligence. So those terms are taken straight from law. But because of the nature that this is a competition that is scored, there are some more finicky rules. And like we said, our coach, who we're really lucky to have, is an assistant district attorney, which is really cool because he can point out when AMTA rules don't really follow with Delaware County law or Pennsylvania state law. So there is a bit of a, like, don't come into mock trial expecting to be able to like practice as an attorney in Delaware just with this. Like, it's a completely different set of rules. In fact, like every county and every state has different rules. I don't think it's good to get like a critical law thinking, like analysis brain kind of situation going on, I think, because the laws are structured similarly.
Yeah, just to add on to that real quick, you will learn like basic things, like what is hearsay, how to write a leading question, like general things on like character evidence, more prejudicial and probative. If you don't know what those words are, perfectly fine. But they're based off of a more general like federal rules of evidence. So like they're not the same as real law. The idea is it provides like a little platform for us to walk around and do mock trial on. Also, AMTA is the American Mock Trial Association. We've said it a couple times, but it's like the governing body of mock trial. Oh, Chris has a question.
That's a great question. I love that question, Carissa. You know what? It is a little bit like it in that the judges want theatrics. You know, we came in, we had Tanner as our coach. We were like, we know the law. We know how to deal with like real legal issues. And then people walked in and they were like, I have a Russian accent. And the judges were like, I love that. You have a Russian accent? 100 points to you right now. And we were sitting there like, I don't understand this foolery. But they love theatrics. They love accents. They want to be entertained. So in that way, sure, it's like Suits. But otherwise, you know, it's more, I don't want to say boring, less dramatic.
I have to add something onto that. We once went against a team who had a witness who was pretending to be Velma from Scooby-Doo. So, I mean, like, that's the kind of theatrics that they're looking for, because she got, like, all the points. Like, everything, like, 10 points. Yeah, they loved it. But I want to mention that even though mock trial isn't exactly, like, actual law, I think Tanner, our coach, is a really great resource because he'll tell you about actual cases and how he actually practices law and things that will actually be helpful later on. Because the way that like mock trial is scored, you don't necessarily need to have the best case and argument to be the one that wins. Like if your team gives a better show and like has a more rehearsed attorney witness like direct pairing, they'll score higher even if your side is making the better argument and case. So yeah, it's different than law in that way for one example, but Tanner's a really good resource, and I feel like, yeah, he'll just tell you what law is really like and give you a really good idea and teach you a lot. Sorry, that was rambly, but yeah. Go ahead.
How intense is stuff? Because I know that at Emory, the mock trial team is like really, really, really intense. like hours and hours of practice weekly and stuff. Is SWAT comparable to that, or is it a little bit more lax? Not to like say that it's, but not as crazily.
No worries.
I think we're better at working effectively in a smaller period of time. I mean, last year was our first year, and we did really well. And we got invited to a lot of these invitationals where you need to be invited because of how well we did. And we prepare by just again, using Tanner as a resource, being focused and effective in that time, working with each other, working with the different sides of our teams. The defense and the plaintiff really often talk. We work hard, but I don't think it's not cutthroat. I don't think we're ever like, you have to be here 8 hours a week. So I'm guessing we're not as intense as Emory, but we definitely do well.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I also competed on Haverford's team, which is a little bit closer to Emory in terms of like intense and like takes up a lot of your time. We're definitely not like that. Swarthmore, academics and just like other things about Swarthmore life take up a lot of your time, and we try to be respectful of that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that we don't take up as much time as other schools because we're understanding of how difficult Swarthmore is just as a general school and how much time you need to put into your classes just completely outside of mock trial. And we understand that you're a student first before you are like a member of our team. Also, welcome. Do you want to introduce yourself? You can just tell us your name. I think.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Hello.
Sorry.
I'm Josh. I'm sorry I'm late. I was just at another meeting, but
No, it's totally fine.
I'm on campus right now. He, him pronouns. I think is there anything else that I should share?
No, that's totally fine. Welcome.
Can I add something?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So like Haverford, it's a big, really good rivalry. We have not lost to them. We've always have great matches against them, so it's really exciting.
Anyone have questions in reaction to that? Cool.
Next
Like
question.
low-key friends with their team. Yeah.
Oh, well, the last question we have is, do you have any sort of coach? I feel like we kind of went over that.
Yeah, so Tanner, our coach's name is Tanner Roos. You can look him up if you want.
No, it's Rouse.
What?
Rouse?
It's Rouse.
Have you said Roos to him?
I'm rough. I just projected it. Okay. Tanner Rouse.
Mm-hmm.
He is Assistant District Attorney of Delaware County, which is county Swarthmore's in. He was previously Assistant District Attorney in Philadelphia. He, as I said before, has a lot of great connections. If you are pre-law, he's a great resource for your career in the future. If you're not pre-law, he's a great teacher if you just want to learn better public speaking. So yeah, we're very lucky. We're very lucky.
He's also not intimidating at all. Like, he will regularly just like curse in front of us, say a bunch of really weird things, but he is a great teacher. He's just very like casual. He'll yell at you if you call him Mr. Rouse. Like, he's kind of just here like trying to be your friend. So don't feel intimidated by him, even though he's very tall and like kind of scary looking, but he's not scary.
He's also really encouraging. Like a few meetings in, I was feeling discouraged because I didn't know anything. I went up to him and I told him that like maybe I should just like not be on the team because I didn't know what was going on, and he like literally didn't let me quit. So yeah, he's just like super encouraging and kind. So if you ever have any questions, I cannot talk, I apologize. He's a great resource. But yeah.
So I think that's all the questions we have from our Instagram Q&A. Does anyone have any questions or comments, or doesn't have any questions about mock? If you want to know about us, Not that you would, but if you do, any comments you have?
Or if you came later in the meeting and you'd like us to repeat something, we're also happy to do that.
Yeah, so you said it was more competitive in the spring. Who determines like who gets what slots, or how competitive does it get within the group for the spring semester?
So this year it's going to be a little different, but in the past we have done one like scrimmage in the winter where it's Tanner and Veronica and we kind of use that scrimmage as like an audition for A and B, but even once the teams are stacked like that, we still communicate and talk. It's not like A and B are completely separate. We're not going to talk and we're going to compete against each other all the time. It's not like that. So the idea is just that we want to give people a chance to like show their best side to us, and then we send the like the A teams with the hopes that we get past regionals into the next advancement in the AMTA cycle.
And to be honest with you, it's really just a matter of it's a matter of a lot of factors, right? Like how committed have you been? How able have you been to come to the meetings? How much have you grown, rather than like how much experience you have. We don't really care about experience. And how like engaged and interested you seem. So I will say both teams are good. Our A team and our B team are good. We've had people win awards on our A team and our B team. We've had people win rounds on our A team and our B team. So it's not like the A team is this holy grail and the B team is nothing. It's absolutely not like that. Yeah. Other thoughts, questions? We can recap something for anyone who came a little later.
I'm not sure what information you went over for the first half of it, so I guess whatever you believe is necessary for me to know, but I
Have
guess—
you done mock trial before?
Yes, I have. But I guess, are you holding weekly meetings? When are they? If there's like a group chat?
All good questions. Scout, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, so we do have a weekly meeting Wednesday from 9 to 10, just because we do have some international students who want to like incorporate their time schedule. If you can't make those meetings, they are going to be recorded and uploaded to our Moodle site. Hopefully that doesn't, like, it's not like there's homework, it's just like a place where we keep all of our stuff. And we also practice as like a smaller group, just to talk about like plaintiff specific things or defense specific things. And then you may also have to meet with a partner to work on like a direct examination or a cross examination or something. Yeah, we do have a group chat. The people that decide to continue can either DM us in the next couple weeks, or if you show up to our meeting next week, we'll put you in the group chat. And we also send emails, so there's lots of lines of communication.
Yeah, actually, can I ask you guys whose emails I don't have, for your email? I have Paige's. I believe I have Liam's. John Luigi, can you give me your email?
Yeah.
Or just in chat, maybe that will be easier. Yeah, so if you haven't received an email from Garnet Mock Trial, just throw in your email. Perfect, thank you so much. And I will add you to our mailing list.
And so if we're on that mailing list, then we'll get an invitation to the next meeting, and like we can be like we can be signed up to be involved.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I don't want to add you to the group chat before you're ready to be in a Facebook group chat, you know what I mean? So I think what we're going to do, give me your email, I'll put you on the email list, and then if you're certain that you'd like to be involved, then I'll throw you in that group chat, because I know it can be kind of awkward to leave a Facebook chat if you're like, nah. So, we'll give it a second.
Okay, I might head out because I was here from the beginning in case you guys are going over more information.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm excited.
Definitely to come to the meeting. Really interesting.
We're so glad you guys can make it.
Yes.
And thank you for coming.
Any other questions? Bye.
Bye.
Just sort of like a quick question. You guys went over earlier how there's a few more roles, witnesses, and stuff compared to high school. Is there like a certain methodology you guys use role-wise to be like, okay, you do this, you do that?
I think
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is interest, because we know that if you're interested in doing something, you're going to do a better job at it. And then, I mean, there's a lot of factors, like how much time do you have available, because sometimes you'll need to learn, if you're going to be a witness, you need to learn a couple of witnesses, because there's no guarantee that this one is going to be called. That's how it's a little different from high school. We also like help you when we're working on it. So I think it's interest. It's possibly also how much, what details you already know about the case. If you, for example, are an attorney on this side, on plaintiff, and you know this one witness who you're cross-examining really well, you want to be a witness, you might be that witness for defense, because you know that witness already really well. But it is never a decision that we make unilaterally.
All right, cool.
Also
Thank you.
Yeah.
Josh,
I'm not like leaving.
Okay.
In general, we try to not make people double attorney. We did make people do it last year and it was difficult, so we're going to try to not do that in the future. And this year, we're going to try to have everyone just do one thing. So like maybe you're just a witness, just an attorney. If you want to do more, you absolutely can, but we're not going to make that an expectation.
Yeah, and I mean, since you guys are still here, I'm going to assume you want more details. So there is something called a character witness, and there's something called an expert witness. Someone like me who likes to talk a lot is usually an expert witness, because expert witnesses can get away with being more know-it-all. Expert witnesses can get away with being more like an actual attorney. If you want to do an accent and you want to have some fun, character witnesses are definitely super fun. It's all about putting on a show. That's what makes it different from real life. But it does definitely wake them up. There's strategic value to it. It makes them pay attention. Yeah. Josh, is there anything like any sort of details that you want to know, since you missed a little bit of the beginning?
Like I said, I'm not 100% sure what you went over at the beginning, but like I have the information for the next meeting, which is really helpful. You have my email. I know how high school mock trial is structured, but you said that college mock trial is a little bit different as far as like the number of roles, as well as the kind of roles that people take on. You went over that a little bit with the witnesses. Is it different with the lawyers as well?
It is a little bit, actually. Scout, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so I don't know if you heard this before, but college mock trial tends to be a little bit longer. Like statements, instead of being 5 minutes, they're more like 8 to 9. You get a bit more time for direct and cross. So you get like a pool of time to do all of your directs, 25 minutes, and then you get another 25 minutes to do all of your directs.
Crosses.
There's some witnesses that can be called by either side. They're called swing witnesses. So I think most high schools just do side locked. So there's like 3 for plaintiff, 3 for defense. You get what you get, you don't make a fuss. In college, you can pick and choose your 3 from a pool of 10. And it's like a little bit more complex than high school, a lot more moving parts. So they give you a bit more time in all of the stuff you do to build your case.
Lawyers also have a constraint where one lawyer does an opening, a different one has to do with the closing, and usually the third one, there's 3 attorneys, third one will do introductions, there's certain formalities like, oh, here's the actual charge we're filing. You give it to them and you give them your exhibits and stuff. Yeah, the lawyers, maybe the way it's different, the lawyers, you do have to memorize a bit more. I think in high school it was generally acceptable. I don't know how competitive your, I guess, league was. It's acceptable to have something in front of you. There are definitely judges who are kind of prissy about it, especially judges who aren't actually lawyers, but they're alumni from the mock trial, but they're not lawyers. So they're really specific on, you need to be completely memorized. You need to know this law off the top of your head. Things which, to be fair, is not really the case in real life, but that's what makes it a little more, I guess, elite. I don't know if that's the right word, but yeah.
It's also not that hard to memorize stuff usually, because it's just like you're having a conversation with a witness, or you get up there and talk about why you're right for 10 minutes, and that's like, you can, if you're doing a closing, you can kind of just make it up as you go along if you're a good enough speaker. So.
I think the other thing that we talked about that you might have missed, Cheyenne talked a little about like team events that we do.
That's what I was going to bring up. Yeah, so I was saying that like we are a team, and we take mock trial seriously, and like we want to practice and get our skills and all that, but we also are just like friends, and we like to hang out. So we have like movie nights and game nights, just like, you know, Cards Against Humanity, Jurassic Park, fun stuff. If you have anything specific that you want to do, I'm more than happy. I kind of am the one who like organizes them. So if you have any ideas, let me know. I will make it happen for you. But yeah, we're just friends and we like to hang out. That's basically the moral of the story.